Welcome to Global Village, and thank you very much for joining us today. We are airing today from the County of Newell building, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Joseph. And we are very honored to have both Mr. Tom McNulty, he's our police chief in the area, Brooks and County of Newell area. And we have John DeJong, the new trustee of Catholic School. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. And I'm Joseph Octavius. I'm the co-host for today's program, and I'm from BCIS. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Tom, would you be able to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, good afternoon, Ahmed. Joseph, it's good to be back. It's been a while since I've been with you.
Yeah.
I am the detachment commander of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Detachment at Brooks and predominantly the County of Newell. We go a little bit bigger than that. Yeah. And don't take in the west side of the County of Newell, which is the Bassano area. They've got their own detachment. I've been in Brooks for just about 5 years. It'll be 5 years in January of 2017.
Wow.
I've really enjoyed my time here. I'm coming to the end of a 35-year career. I've got 34 and a half completed now. I'm really proud of a lot of things we've done in Brooks in the last few years, and got a great operation going here and great people that are working with us, and it's a fun time to be in Brooks as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. John, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm a retired dairy farmer. I had farmed with a brother. We have a farm of approximately 500 acres, and we had a herd of just over 200 animals. My wife and I have been married for 35 years, and we have 5 children and 13 grandchildren, but nobody interested in dairying, so or farming for that matter. I spent about 10 years in the last 10 years working in the oil industry in construction of oil field equipment. I been involved with the dairy industry in a I guess a political sense. I've been on a national board. I've also served on provincial boards. I'm at present still on the provincial veterinary medical association as a public member in the hearings tribunal, and I've been in school council on 3 occasions, and I was one of the parents that helped establish the Catholic school in Brooks. I was just elected as the new trustee in October, so that's a quick rundown.
Sounds great. Very much impressive.
There we go. Okay, Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the different force of the police force in Canada?
The difference of police forces in Canada. We have a number of them, but predominantly the RCMP, or the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they're responsible for all three levels of policing in Canada: the federal, the provincial, and municipal. In other jurisdictions such as Ontario and Quebec, they have provincial police forces, and that's just a choice of the province. They can hire contract to the Government of Canada for policing and hire the RCMP to do that, or they can form their own. And Quebec and Ontario and Newfoundland have all chosen to have their own police force to enforce the provincial and criminal law of Canada. Then the municipalities also contract services, usually from the province. For example, the municipality of Brooks enters into a contract with the province of Alberta for policing, and they contract the RCMP to complete that service. The city of Medicine Hat, Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Taber, they've chosen to have their own municipal police force. So they build their own and train their own and manage their own police forces, who are responsible for all the provincial laws, the criminal code, and the municipal bylaws of the community. So the RCMP can do all of that, plus on the RCMP side, we have the national side of the police force, which is, we take care of all of the federal statutes which are not included in the Criminal Code of Canada. So the Terrorism Act, the Drug Enforcement Act, or the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act. We have numerous bank and financial responsibilities as far as the enforcement of those laws. We train many forces train under the or with the RCMP. We are also responsible on a larger basis for the Canadian Police Information Centre, which is something that's run by the Government of Canada, but we manage it for them. Yeah, the RCMP does everything from bylaws to international investigations, and then different levels of policing all the way down. The County of Newell has they hire community peace officers, which are responsible strictly for the enforcement of the county bylaws and one or two provincial statutes. They've got limited power, but they're another level of policing. The City of Brooks has bylaw officers and community peace officers as well.
Having gave a very impressive background introduction of yourself, and also having been involved with the dairy industry for quite a number of years now, what do you think is the importance of the agricultural sector in the county of Newark?
It's historically always been the primary, I call it the primary basis in this area. I mean, historically, agriculture started this way. We have an amazing broad spectrum of things that are there. You got cattle, you got dairy, you got it's just immense, and it'll always, I think, remain that way.
Is the county actually getting the support of the community?
Oh yes, I think for sure. Yeah. You know, in light of our economic downturn, and we've seen some real wild fluctuations in cattle prices, and agriculture is getting bigger. It's, there's, I think we haven't seen the end of that. I think the farms will get bigger. I think the challenge is going to be keeping young people interested, getting them into the industry. We're going to face more and more issues on food safety. These are all things I think. And certainly the community has always been great supporters of agriculture in this area.
Wow. Okay, thanks. Tom, every community would like to live a peaceful harmony, but it takes also police officers or authorities to make sure the peace is always maintained. So how can we collectively as a community be able to help the police so they can prevent all kinds of violence? What the community at large can help the police in terms of keeping that peace?
Keeping the peace, if we had an answer to your question, I'd be a magician. Violence has been part of our community for thousands of years. And it's really important to understand the violence and the issues behind it. The police, when Robert Peel from England started the police force as we know it in the British Commonwealth, as the RCMP and all Canadian police forces follow, they came into being because the people in the community didn't want to deal with each other when it came to violence. They needed a third party intervention. And now it's really important that people understand that the community or the police in the community can only be as strong as the community allows them to be. If the community members are talking to the police on a consistent and regular basis and letting them know the issues and some of the history of conflict which may be involved, A great example is in some of the newer communities to Brooks and Canada. They bring with them generations of cultural conflict that I don't understand, and many of us in my police force don't understand. And it's important that we understand those, and then we could help deal with the conflict there. If it is a violent turn of events, we can help deal with that. And the other thing is, the biggest thing is, in my experience, when it comes to violence in a community, whether it be a fight that starts in a bar or domestic violence, so very often it has started because of alcohol consumption. Mm-hmm. If we could curb the alcohol consumption, or if we could somehow teach young people to know when to say enough is enough and not go into that, where they consume a little bit more alcohol than is necessary, I think we could stop a lot there. But the biggest thing is talk to the police. The police should never, a good police force, any police force, is usually the last people to know about most things. Yeah. If we're in the know, if people are talking to us and explaining things to us, we can jump onto preventative programs and help curb some behaviors without actually becoming involved with criminal law enforcement.
So the magic word is the engagement of the community is very vital.
It's very vital.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
John, given your involvement with the dairy industry, what do you think are the challenges or opportunities that you see farmers actually facing in the next few years in the county?
Well, I think, as I indicated earlier, the average age of farmers is going up significantly. The costs to purchase equipment, the cost to purchase land is skyrocketing. Young people usually have to have some sort of prior family who have been farming to continue on, the ones that are interested. For young people to begin, that is a very, very hard challenge right now. There is still ways, but usually it involves another career too. But for the most part, starting off as a young person in farming, those days are bygone now. We're in a global environment, and we're competing against countries that we in the past never competed against, because they too have the technologies. I mean, we're seeing it in South America, we're seeing it in Eastern Europe, all parts of the world. Countries that in the past have been importers of Canadian food are now, a lot of them are self-sufficient. And it's them technologies that we are now going to have to be a lot more innovative, a lot more business savvy, and being a global environment, we have to be very adept at being able to get into these situations.
Good. Sounds great.
Okay. Yeah, Tom, just following up the previous question is, how can we help the youth and encourage them to do the right thing, as well as volunteering to the community? The youth, because that is the most important. You have youth at risk that might be able to be manipulated by some gangs, some ideological that is not the right ideological in terms of real world. So how can we engage them to do the right thing and help them prevent such issues?
Just about all kids, all children have a very strong sense of value and morals that are inherited from their parents, and they're all good people. when kids are not busy, when they've got other things to think about and other things to do, they could get caught up in propaganda from all sorts of different sources, whether it be, a criminal activity, or it could be a sporting activity, or it could be any other activity. If we can keep them busy, if we can keep them involved and find the things that they like, then they don't have the time to get caught up and listen to the propaganda from the wrong people. If a child is secluded in a room and on the internet, on their video screens, and we don't know what they're following, we don't know what they're looking at, as parents, it's really important that we intervene there, at least some way to understand what they're doing on the internet or who they're talking to. And like I say, and just try and keep them busy. We talk about volunteering. Kids today to volunteer, they emulate what their parents do. If their parents are out volunteering and helping, then the kids certainly will. We have to show that the kids that if they're involved in high school sports, every teacher is volunteering their time to provide that opportunity for the kids. If they're involved in hockey, those coaches are volunteering their time. Volunteering makes everything in the community happen. Without volunteers, we wouldn't have churches. We wouldn't have, the Catholic Church, for example. In the whole Catholic Church, the priest gets a bit of a wage, and there might be a secretary, might be. Everybody else is volunteer. And if they don't have all of those volunteers, the church doesn't exist.
If I may intercede, Tom, in our school system, one of the things that every student in Christ the Redeemer school who graduates one of the graduate requirements is they have to put in 50 hours of good works, volunteer hours. And it's an amazing program because just as Tom said, you need to be involved. You need to be, my wife and I raised 5 children, and amazingly enough, our favorite time of our life was when they were teenagers, but we were involved. They were in sports, they were in drama, they were busy. And we absolutely monitored, as Tom was saying, our computer was in a public place.
Wow. But today the children have a tablet, they have iPod, they go downstairs, they're addicted to that gadgets all the time. So the families have a very challenging to monitor all the time what the kid is addicted to, what are they watching, it's a very challenge.
I won't argue that. It's very challenging, and because the video screens now are so small and so portable, and they don't have to. When computers came on and my son was watching computers, it was a computer. It wasn't a tablet or a phone. It was the computer, and it was relatively easy to monitor. Now they just step outside or they go with their friends and they're still on it. It's still, you and I have had this conversation how many times. Everything comes down to communication, doesn't it? If you have a strong and open relationship with your kids, that you can talk to them, they can talk to you, you can talk to their teachers or their buddies or everything comes down to communication. We have to have those lines of communication open. And if we talk to our kids and we have everything working for our kids, 9 times out of 10 they will stay on the right path. No matter what you do, some will fall off. Yeah. And then it's really good to understand where to get the help in the community. And fortunately, very fortunately in Brooks, we've got a strong, strong support community where there's a lot of help available.
Yep, and I think one of that help is Joseph, who does a lot of homework club, I believe.
Yeah, we do have a homework club at Brooks Compulsory High School,
Campus
and
High
we also have a couple of kids coming from Brooks Junior High School and the Catholic school as well. So we work with kids pretty much across the board with homework club. We help them with assignments, projects, and also with some English, especially for new Canadians. Yeah.
And that's only one example. There are numerous examples that that will keep kids involved. And you know, we've in the Composite High School, they've just revitalized the LRP program, the Leadership Resiliency program, which is a tremendous program for the kids. And so there's lots of opportunity as well.
John, given your involvement with the Catholic school, of which you've been recently selected as a trustee, what exactly would you like to see in 2017?
Well, I guess I want to see, you know, that we maintain a strong Catholic school environment, and I certainly hope that, you know, parents will have the option to be in public, to have Catholic, and to have private. And I am very much and fundamentally, for me, as the parents are the primary educators. I think we have to be very cognizant of those things. So,
Tom, what is your do we have a prescription drug addiction, especially fentanyl, in our area?
Fortunately, we have not experienced any large-scale negative aspects of fentanyl, as certainly other jurisdictions in Alberta and the BC have. We haven't had any overdoses that I've been made aware of. Fentanyl is an extremely, extremely dangerous drug, and now it's being mixed into just about every other consumable illicit drug. So the people that are consuming the drugs really have to be aware of that. Fentanyl in just a powder form is very dangerous to those around us. Like when the police, execute search warrants or dealing with illicit drugs, especially in the powder form, we have to take very much a different and cautious approach to it now. We've all been given doses of naloxone, which is an antidote for fentanyl, so all of my people are carrying that with them now. And we've really upped the training on how to deal with it. But fortunately, knock on wood, in the Brooks of the County of Newell area, we have not seen fentanyl yet. Medicine Hat has, Calgary certainly has, and I'm sure it's here, but we haven't seen any negative effects of it yet.
Oh, that's a very good news.
John, what would you say you would like to see as your 2017 resolution for the county?
I'm always careful about personal ones, but you know, as a new trustee, my resolution, I guess, is that I just want to be the best possible trustee and get to know the people and the parents and the kids and the teachers, and you know, and do my very best.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So, Tom, what is your personal 2017 resolution, and what safety tips you have for the community?
Well, as John, I'm very careful about my personal resolutions. I don't have too many because I always break them. But for the community, I just want to see over the past 5 years since I've been in Brooks, we've observed a very nice gradual decrease or decline in crimes against the person in Brooks. So assaults of all kinds, whether it be sexual assault or assault with a weapon or just any type of assault. They've been on a decline. Domestic violence has been on a decline. We have worked very hard with other community members to provide some pretty solid services, and I just want to see that continue to grow. And people just to take care of themselves, you know, and to watch out for other people. You know, if you want to be treated nice, then treat other people nice. It's a simple thought. But, you know, when you take that and you take it onto the roads, you know, well, some people just drive stupid. Like, and you can't fix stupid. You know, if it's snowing and slippery out and you don't have good tires on, please slow down. And on in a four-wheel drive truck, going forward in four-wheel drive really helps in the snow. You still have to be able to stop. So if four-wheel drive doesn't help you stop. But think of other people's. If you do get in a crash, you have insurance to protect the other party. If you have a Class 7 driver's license, you don't have that insurance. So you're really not thinking or caring about others that use the road as well. But if you care about other people, you will stay safe. You'll be all right. And if everybody cared about everybody else, we wouldn't need any police in this world, would we? So there's my wish.
John, what's your resolution for the community in 2017?
I guess that we continue. I guess I'm going to continue in a little bit in Tom's focus here. That, you know, especially in light of what's happened with the oil and gas industry in Alberta, and particularly Brooks. Brooks has been hurt bad with it, I think, and that we look out for one another. That families that are in need. I know in our school we've had several classes. Well, actually, the whole school has gotten together and helping the families that are hurting right now, and that we be aware of the people that need help, and that we support each other, certainly for when times are tough, and also when times are good, that we watch out for one another.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for both of you, and we are very honored to have you.